When did you decide to fight fire with fire? My coworker Dennis spent 2 years making my life miserable with passive-aggressive emails, taking credit for my work, and constantly undermining me in meetings. HR said it wasn't actionable harassment, just personality differences. My manager, who golfed with Dennis weekly, always took his side, so I decided if Dennis wanted to play dirty, I'd show him what dirty really looked like. First, I studied his patterns. Dennis always sent critical emails about my work, CCing management at 4:47 p.m. on Fridays, ensuring I'd stress all weekend with no chance to respond. He'd accidentally schedule meetings during my lunch break. He'd volunteer me for weekend work during presentations before I could object. I started documenting everything in a shared drive I called Project Collaboration. Dennis didn't know I was giving him just enough access to hang himself. Every time he accessed my files before presenting his ideas, it was logged. Every email he sent got archived with metadata, showing when he drafted them, proving he planned his Friday attacks. Then I began my counteroffensive. I learned Dennis always grabbed the first printed copy from the printer, assuming it was his. I started printing documents that looked like his reports, but contained subtle errors, just wrong enough to be embarrassing, but not obvious sabotage. He presented my false data 3 times before catching on. I discovered Dennis used the same password for everything, his dog's name plus his birth year. I never accessed his accounts, that would be illegal, but I did create fake phishing emails that looked like legitimate company communications. When he clicked them, they led to sites I controlled that just said, "Dennis, you've been compromised. IT security." He panicked every time, spent hours changing passwords and accusing IT of harassment. The psychological warfare escalated. I knew Dennis was deeply insecure about his thinning hair, so I signed him up for every hair loss newsletter and free sample program I could find. His desk became flooded with Rogaine samples and toupee catalogs. He blamed maintenance, then IT, then random coworkers, never suspecting the quiet guy he tormented. I learned his coffee routine, large dark roast at 8:15 a.m. from the lobby cafe. I started arriving earlier, ordering the last of the dark roast at 8:14. Every day, Dennis had to settle for medium roast. Such a small thing, but it infuriated him. He actually filed a complaint that someone was deliberately sabotaging his coffee. Then I discovered Dennis was lying about his credentials. His LinkedIn claimed he had an MBA from Wharton. A quick check revealed he'd done an online certificate program from Wharton Executive Education, basically a weekend seminar. Not technically a lie, but definitely misleading. I created an anonymous alumni newsletter for real Wharton MBA graduates and sent it to everyone in the company, including Dennis. It featured articles about the rise of fake credentials and how to spot resume inflation. Dennis's name was never mentioned, but people started asking him about his MBA experience. He got flustered, defensive, started avoiding the topic. The masterstroke came when I learned Dennis was planning to present my project as his own at the quarterly board meeting. I'd done all the work. He was going to take all the credit, but I was ready. I embedded hidden slides in the presentation that would only appear if someone pressed specific keys during the slideshow. During his presentation, I sat in the back with a wireless presenter remote I'd synced to the system earlier. When Dennis claimed credit for the innovation strategies, I triggered a hidden slide showing email evidence of me sending him all the ideas. When he discussed implementation, another slide appeared showing the Git commits proving I'd done all the coding. Dennis tried to play it off, but the board members weren't stupid. They started asking pointed questions he couldn't answer because he didn't actually understand the work. I stepped forward. I can explain those technical details if needed. The CEO looked between us, understanding exactly what had happened, but Dennis wouldn't quit. He accused me of sabotage, hacking, and harassment. That's when I played my final card. I'd been BCCing my personal email on every communication for 2 years, creating an undeniable record of his behavior. I presented HR with 200 pages of documentation showing Dennis's systematic bullying, complete with timestamps, witness lists, and pattern analysis. HR couldn't ignore it anymore. The investigation revealed Dennis had done this to 3 previous coworkers who'd all quit. The company faced potential lawsuits. Dennis was given a choice: resign quietly or be fired with cause. He chose to resign. On his last day, Dennis cornered me. "How did you do it? How did you destroy me so completely?" I looked him straight in the eye. "You taught me everything I know. I just learned it better." He started to respond, but then his phone buzzed. Another hair loss newsletter. He looked at it, looked at me, and finally understood. The student had become the master. I don't feel proud of what I did, but sometimes the only way to stop a bully is to show them what it feels like to be bullied. Dennis now works at a small firm 3 states away. I heard he's much nicer to his coworkers now.